Welcome to the 2018 post-draft morning after here, CFFL headquarters. Will be a quick one today. Reminder, if you have not already sent out your check, please do so. I think most of you paid when you were here, so we should be good. I think 3 of you left. So I think I emailed or texted most of you or talked to you on Sunday about it, so please get that before the start of the season. Otherwise, 20 points come off your total season total after that week. So we'll get to it and start looking at rosters right now. In the 25th year here, first of all, we have the Horned Dogs, who last year finished 9-4 and were the best team in the league. Did not win it, but had the best record in the league. Aaron Rodgers, Gurley, and Kerryon Johnson will probably be their running backs. Gronk, Thielen, Funchess, and probably Sterling Shepard will be there. This year, the one thing I'm going to try to do, talking about, is a boomer bust pick. If they have a good year, that team probably might boom it and hit the Super Bowl. The bust, probably mediocre. Never know. Other guys could step up, but that's my theory on that, or why I'm doing it. Boomer bust, Kerryon Johnson. 4th-round pick, has a lot of upside with the Lions, but it's the Lions, so will they actually run the ball? Will it be Blunt? Will it be Theo Riddick? You never know. But if he is, he's a lot of talent. He's got a lot of talent, so we'll have to see how that plays out. Black Dingoes, 2017 record, so I should have said 8-5. Playoffs last year, also looking for their first playoff win. Someone else in the league, I think, is still looking for their first playoff win after a few years. I can't remember who it is. I'll have to think on that one. Maybe I'll remember later. Deshaun Watson and Phillip Rivers, really good quarterbacks there. Le'Veon Bell, LaShawn McCoy, Marshawn Lynch, Chris Thompson. Some old running backs there with McCoy and Lynch. I think combined they hit the retirement age. Close anyway. Receivers of Hilton, Brandon Cooks, Sammy Watkins, Jordy Nelson. Could be an interesting team there. Bell and Watson play up to potential, and Hilton, that's 3 of the top players at their position, so that could be big. But boomer bust, LaShawn McCoy. Will he be suspended? Will he play well? Will the Bills actually be able to score some points? All big questions there, and if he hits, that could be a very dangerous team, especially if Watson is back and plays like he did last year, where he was like Michael Vick of a couple years ago. Cardinals last year with one of their most disappointing years ever, 4-8-1, but I did get the most high points in the league with 3 high point wins, not high points, that went to Bernie. Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes, Ezekiel Elliott, Joe Mixon, Rex Burkhead, and Mark Ingram at running back. Receivers of Evans, Juju, Will Fuller, and Cooper Kupp look to be the main guys there. Boomer bust for me will be Joe Mixon. I was really high on him like 2 weeks ago. It kind of wasn't as high on him the last week. We'll see how he is. I really wanted Jordan Howard in the second, but Bites got him. So we'll see if he does become the bell cow. Has a pretty solid year. That could have a pretty good team. We'll have to see how that all plays out. Price is right up next. Alex Smith and Derek Carr, David Johnson, Lamar Miller, Carlos Hyde, Peyton Barber, and Adrian Peterson. Some pretty deep running backs there. Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, Corey Davis, and Julian Edelman. A little bit better receivers this year, Tim. Just a little bit better than last year. Boomer bust will be Lamar Miller, a guy who got benched kind of at the end of last year, but looks to be the main guy this year. He was pretty good when Deshaun was there. If he continues that could be pretty scary because Hyde and Peterson are probably more flex guys. Barber has an upside of a 2 if he can hold off Ronald Jones all year. But Miller, he comes through, that'll be a scary team. Next up, we have Bites' Badgers, who last year went 6-7. Andrew Luck and Tyrod Taylor, Jordan Howard, Jay Ajayi, Rashad Penny, in there at running back until Penny steps up. Then Antonio Brown, Travis Kelce, Jarvis Landry, and Marquise Goodwin. So pretty good receivers. Boomer bust will be Andrew Luck. Is he back from the injury? If so, that's a top 5 quarterback. And that should be a pretty good team. If he is not quite back yet, it could be challenging because Ajayi, you never know. The Eagles are going to split the ball around 3-4 different ways. Will Penny actually step up? Howard and Brown, you're pretty known. Kelce, you're pretty set. Brown's will be able to score some touchdowns. Marquise Goodwin, just a deep threat. We'll see. But has the potential to be good, but it probably hinges mostly on Andrew Luck. Morton's Minotaurs, name pending. Last year finished 7-6 in the Wiffle League. Kirk Cousins and Jared Goff at quarterback, pretty darn solid. Running backs, Kamara, Derrick Henry, and Theo Riddick. Again, a little thin there. Theo Riddick, kind of touchdown dependent in our league. He'll get his 40 yards receiving, but that's not really enough sustainable, especially if he has to flex. Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, Chris Hogan, Emmanuel Sanders, Pierre Garcon. Pretty good running receivers there. In fact, very good. Diggs is potentially being number one. Hogan, especially if Gronk would have something happen to him, he'll be getting all the targets for the first couple weeks. And Sanders has so far kind of looked like the number one in Denver. Boomer bust will be Derrick Henry, though. If he is, splitting time with Deion Lewis, if he's not scoring touchdowns, how will that play out? And surprisingly, a boomer bust also could be the first pick in Alvin Kamara. Did not have more than 12 carries in a game last year. Scored a ridiculous amount of touchdowns percentage-wise. But he is a ridiculously good athlete. They have a good offense, so that'll be questionable how he plays out. Probably what most people pick at number 6, but he's really a high upside, low floor guy. So that will be a big decider in his season as well. Bernie's Bruisers last year finished 8-5, and the most points in the league, was the most dominant team in the league in a while, but of course didn't win the Super Bowl, as the way it goes sometimes. Cam and Dak, so he likes the 3-letter quarterbacks. Kareem Hunt, Devontae Freeman, Isaiah Crowell, Marlon Mack. Good upside there on the running backs. Freeman stays healthy, it should be a pretty darn good group. Doug Baldwin, Allen Robinson, Kyle Rudolph, Rashawn Woods, and Trey Burton. Questionable receivers possibly, because it'll kind of hinge on Allen Robinson. Is he back from his injury? Will the Bears show a living offense, which they look like they should this year, the new offense coordinator and stuff? But will it be Trey Burton who maybe make it some more of the carries? Doug Baldwin should be good. The other ones might be a little more touchdown dependent, but potential there for Bernie to have another solid year. All hinge on Allen Robinson though. Otherwise, you're moving Kyle Rudolph up to the 2. That's questionable there, especially with a new quarterback. Will he be thrown to that much? Griff's Gargoyles, that's the other team that doesn't have a playoff win. Thought I'd remember it later, Griff, in case you don't remember that. 12 years, is it, without a playoff win? It's been a while. 12, 13, 14. Last year finished 7-6, made the playoffs, failed to win. Quarterbacks of Roethlisberger and Jimmy GQ should be darn good quarterbacks there. Both low-end numbered ones. Maybe Roethlisberger will actually play well on the road and make himself a solid number 1. Running backs, Fournette, Kenyon Drake, Chris Carson, and Jamal Williams. So a good running back core, especially if Carson's able to hold off Penny all year and stays healthy. He was good last year. Receivers are Michael Thomas, Golden Tate, Jordan Reed, Robbie Anderson, and Kenny Stills. A little bit questionable at receiver. Golden Tate, lines have looked rough in the preseason, but he's always pretty solid. Jordan Reed, if he stays healthy, if on him. But that's has never happened. I see he's already hurt this year. But Robbie Anderson does have upside, and Stills should be the number 1 there. A lot of faith in the Dolphins, though. Boomer bust is Kenyon Drake. The right pick at the time. Will he score enough touchdowns? Will they keep mixing in Frank Gore for whatever reason? Will Balaj get some carries? Will they be able to score points? That'll all be up in the air there. Season will hinge on him. Last year's Super Bowl champ, the Little Big Men, went 8-5. Tom Brady and Jameis Winston at quarterback should be very solid there, especially with Jameis' suspension ending after 3 weeks. If Brady gets hurt in week 1 or 2, that could be trouble. Saquon, Christian McCaffrey, James White, and Aaron Jones at running back. Good starters. Questionable depth because the Patriots, especially with White, 1 week he gets a lot of carries or catches, and the next week he's invisible. Tyreek Hill, Marvin Jones, Greg Olsen, Nelson Aguilar. Good upside on his receivers. Marvin Jones, maybe not getting as much this year with Galladay. They talk about getting more. We'll see. Might be continuing with what it was. Boomer bust on him is McCaffrey. He's looked fantastic in the preseason, shooting at most draft boards. Should be really good there if he comes through. Same with Barkley. If they do not live up to it and McCaffrey's more of a number 15 overall running back, could be a long year for the Little Big Men. Tyreek Hill, though, love that pick. Love that pick. Just tons of upside, I think, this year with Mahomes there. Garbage Men last year finished 5-8. Matthew Stafford's his quarterback. Running backs are Jerick McKinnon, Tevin Coleman, and Ronald Jones. Hopefully, for his sake, those guys come through. Tevin Coleman needs a Devontae Freeman injury. Ronald Jones needs to learn the playbook, and McKinnon needs to show he's not just a third down back. That is his red flag. But if they pan out, his receivers are as good as any in the league with DeAndre Hopkins, A.J. Green, Demaryius Thomas, Randall Cobb, Michael Crabtree. Pretty darn good, especially 1 and 2. You're not going to find better 1 and 2 receivers in the league. Finally, in the last part of the South Division, we have the Bucs, who actually went 6-1 and just missed the playoffs. Drew Brees and Marcus Mariota, high upside. And the rest of this team looks familiar. Alex Collins, Julio Jones, Zach Ertz, Jimmy Graham. Boy, that looks familiar. Where have I seen that team before? I don't know. It looked a lot like my team last year. Hopefully it ends up better for you than it did for me. Melvin Gordon, though, will help at running back. Deion Lewis, Sony Michel, upside guys there. Other receivers are Jamison Crowder and Evan Ingram. So upside there. Collins looked really good last year, and he looks like he'll be the man this year. So I think that's a really solid running back core, especially 1-2. Receivers should be good, a little touchdown dependent with Graham. Ertz, the Eagles have looked struggling, and Julio should revert back to a few more touchdowns this year than last. If he gets 8, that's solid because 80 yards a week is pretty nice. But boomer bust with Collins there. But a pretty high floor on this team this year. In Rodgers We Trust comes in next. Last year they finished 5-8. Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan are there. If Wentz misses the first 2 weeks, Matt Ryan should be a solid replacement. Dalvin Cook, Royce Freeman, and Duke Johnson are the running backs. Royce Freeman, as long as he gets most of the carries in Denver, should be good. Dalvin Cook needs to score touchdowns. If so, very good. Running back core, Beckham, Fitzgerald, Josh Gordon, Alshon Jeffrey, and Tyrell Williams could be good. Will Gordon stay out of trouble and actually play? Possibly. Will Alshon Jeffrey avoid the PUP? Possibly. That also ties into his big boomer bust of Carson Wentz. He's back. He was the best quarterback in the league last year, maybe alongside Deshaun Watson. So if he's there, really could be a good team. He is the boomer bust team of the league this year. Things go well for him, he's probably going to be the best, could be the best team in the league. Things go not well with Gordon and Wentz and Jeffrey. Possibly could be a long year for Aaron Rodgers We Trust. So he'll have to have his fingers crossed those things go well. Best pick of the draft, in my opinion, number 49, Aaron Rodgers at that spot to get the best quarterback in the league, barring injury. Very good pick by the Horn Dogs. Best quarterback crew, Black Dingoes with Watson and Rivers. Rivers is arguably a top 10 quarterback, probably top 8. He's not really flashy, but by the end of the year, he'll probably be number 8. Watson's got potential to be the best quarterback in the league, and he guarded himself in case he doesn't come back with Rivers, so a nice job there. Best running backs in the league, Price is Right. Johnson, Miller, Hyde, Barber, AP. Depth there, it looks like a solid 1, looks like a solid 2, upside 3, upside flexes, so that's really good. Receivers were close. I went with the Minotaurs just because of the depth I thought I liked a little more. Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, I think are both potential number 1s. Chris Hogan, a really possible number 2. Sanders is a low-end 2, maybe high-end 3 if things go well. And Garcon is a solid backup. So that's where I rate there. Now my picks, who will win the divisions and who will be in the Super Bowl. I think we know who I'm going to pick for one of the Super Bowl teams, so we'll see what else I have. Winning the division in the North, of course, is going to be the Price is Right. Yes, I picked the Price is Right to win it. I feel with Ingram being suspended 4 games, I might struggle a little bit there in those first 2 weeks, maybe 2-2. But I'm picking the Price is Right to win the North Division. Middle Division, I'm going to go with, our Central Division, I should say. I'm going to go with the Minotaurs. First-year teams in our league have traditionally had good luck. I was very torn, almost went with a few other teams. I think that's a very tight division. Griff, I almost picked you. I was right on the fence there with that one. I was actually close on all of them, but came down to those 2 in my opinion. But I'll go with the Minotaurs. And finally, in the last division, Team LBM was in a tight one with the Bucs in my opinion. But I'm with the LBM in this one. And finally, then the Super Bowl, I think we know. One of the teams is, of course, I'll pick myself. And also I'll pick them to go against the Team Price is Right in a rematch of Super Bowl 24. This time, Tim, Super Bowl 25 will go to me. I will get my revenge, I think, this time. But best of luck to everyone. Hope everyone had fun in the draft. It was a very fast draft again, but it was good. Thank you for everyone who attended. We had 6, so it was a good time this year. Again, best of luck to everyone. If you haven't got any money to me, please do so. And best of luck to everyone, and we will hopefully have a good football season. They don't call penalties on every other play. So thanks, everybody, and talk to you later.